Good morning everyone. Today we'll start our session. Earlier we have studied about the atoms and molecules. Today we'll discuss a general topic. Let us start our session with the routine activities. We eat different kinds of foods in our daily life, like vegetables, fruits, and paddy, everything. We'll eat different kinds of foods. You can observe in the slide there are different kinds of foods like pizza, burger, cool drinks, and these are generally known as junk food. When we eat these kind of foods, we experience some kind of burning sensation in our stomach. So such kind of burning sensation, in medical terms, it is called as acidity. Why we call this as acidity? Is there any background in this word? Yeah, this is so called acidity because this is related to the gastric juice present in our stomach. This gastric juice is made up of hydrochloric acid, dilute hydrochloric acid, HCl. We call it as HCl. So as it is related to a hydrochloric acid, generally this is known as acidity. So this burning sensation is due to acidity, is due to dilute hydrochloric acid, which is generally called as gastric acid. Okay. During this COVID time, everybody is suggesting us to drink lot of citrus juices and to wash our hands with some soap solutions. Why do we wash our hands with soap solution? It is because the virus, COVID virus is made with some DNA, RNA, and some kind of layer around it. This layer is fragile in nature. Fragile means just like a glass. Okay, by applying the soap solution, this glass or fragile outer layer of the virus, coronavirus, will break down and we can make it as inactive. So that is why we have been using the soap solutions and some sterilizers. And second thing, we are encouraged to drink a lot of citrus juices like orange juice or lemon juice and so on. So these citrus juices are said to be immunity boosters. Okay, so these kind of activities are encouraged during these days. Why these are encouraged during these days? We'll study in our chapter called acids and bases. Today we'll discuss about the acids and bases. Okay. Now let us take these two examples again, that is lemon juice and soap solution. One is lemon juice, soap water. Let us try to study the properties of these two, lemon juice and soap water. If we consider the properties, like the primary properties are taste. How does it taste? How does a lemon juice taste? Sour in taste. The taste of the lemon juice is sour. Like orange or any kind of sour containing substances like a tamarind, orange, lemon, all these are sour in taste. And if you touch it, we feel like water. Okay. So, if we observe the properties like a taste and touch, it tastes like sour substance. The taste of the lemon juice is sour, and it feels like water. If you drink it, it is except the taste, it appears like you are drinking some water. So, actually in Latin, the word acidus in Latin is nothing but sour taste. So, that is why the lemon juice or sour taste substances are called as acids, because in Latin the sour taste is named as acidus. That is why this is called as acid. So, in general, the substances which are sour in taste are named as acids. Many examples are there in our daily life. Even you can see in the slide, a small child is tasting the lemon and he is experiencing the sour taste. He was very much enlightened with the taste of the lemon, piece of a lemon. Now, let us observe the soap water. Soap water tastes bitter. Many a times we don't taste the soap water or soap, but it is generally like a bitter gourd. You might have tasted the bitter gourd. Bitter gourd has bitter taste. So, it is similar to that. Soap water is also bitter in taste, and if you touch it, will feel soapy. Okay. Soapy in nature. So, the feel is like soapy. We feel a soap like experience if we touch it. So, these kind of substances which are bitter in taste and soapy in nature are called as bases. So, as acidus word is nothing but the sour taste, which leads to the generation of word called acids. The substances which are bitter in taste are called bases. Okay. So, we have number of examples in our daily life, from starting in the morning to end in the evening. We have been using number of acids and bases in our daily life. Let us see some examples which are used in our daily life. You might have known all these substances. Every day we have been using this: tamarind and orange, lemon, soap, bitter gourd and cabbage. All these are acids and bases. If you can group into different categories, acids and bases, here tamarind and orange, lemon, these three comes under one category, because all these are sour in taste. They can be grouped into one category. You already know that the substances which are sour in taste are called as acids. Yes. Now, if you see the second row, soap, bitter gourd and cabbage, all these three are bitter in taste, and obviously they were named as bases. Yes, many substances in our daily life are acids and bases. Let us see some more examples which are used in these are the properties of acids and bases, and you can see the examples: vinegar, citrus fruits, baking soda, soap. All these are acids and bases used in our daily life. Let us see some more examples. Let us check these acids which are used in everyday life. Now, let us see the first one, hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid is present in digestive juice. In our stomach, hydrochloric acid is generated by digestive glands. These digestive glands releases about 2 to 3 liters of digestive juice, that is hydrochloric acid, into our stomach every day. Every day we have been pumped with liters of acid, hydrochloric acid, into our stomach. And what is the duty of this acid? The acid will break down. For example, this is the food particle. It will be broken into small pieces by chemical reaction. Actually, this is called as a digestion. Digestion is nothing but breaking the food particles into small substances. Here we have two kinds of digestion actually. We have mechanical digestion and chemical digestion. Mechanical digestion actually happens in our mouth cavity. The dents, teeth which are present in the mouth will crush all the food we have taken, and that is called mechanical digestion. It will be broken into small pieces. Later this is injected into our stomach, where the chemical digestion starts. Chemically it will be broken into small pieces in such a way that the intestines present in our body will easily absorb all the food particles. So the conversion will takes place by the hydrochloric acid. This is the gastric acid. We have been unknowingly using every day liters of acid in our daily life. Now second acid, that is acetic acid. Generally acetic acid in common we call it as vinegar. You might be eating fast food outside. They will use vinegar to make it very tasty. Vinegar is used as a tasting acid. Commonly we use in kitchen. Every kitchen contains this vinegar. So this is the acid which is used widely in cooking. Understood? And there are varieties of vinegars. The vinegar which is shown in the picture is as apple cider vinegar, which is extracted from the apple. Okay. And third one is tartaric acid. Tartaric acid is found in the substances like grapes and tamarind. So tamarind also contains tartaric acid. So it is widely used as a food preservative. If you want to store the food for many days, we can add tartaric acid into the food material so that it can stay fresh for a long time. So that is the main advantage of this tartaric acid. Next acid is citric acid. We already know that citric acid is widely used nowadays to boost our immunity. Many citrus fruits we can find in our daily life, like you can observe in the picture. There are plenty of varieties of citrus fruits present in our daily life. Lemon, orange, and so on. Many citric fruits are we can find in the market. These all contains citric acid. Citric acid will supply vitamin C to our body. So vitamin C is the major component in citric acid. It is also known as ascorbic acid. Vitamin C is also known as ascorbic acid, which is famously known for immunity boosting. If you want to protect our body from any disease, we have to develop our immunity, so which we can fight with the coming bacteria or virus from outside. So that is the main advantage with the citric acid. It is also known as a destaining agent. That means if some stain falls on our cloths, any fabric material, so we can rub with the citrus fruits like lemon. Lemon you can rub with the lemon juice or lemon directly, so that it will destain. All these stains will be removed from the fabric material. So that is the main advantage with the citrus fruits. And it is also known as a flavoring agent. If we cook the food, we cook varieties of foods at our home, and to make it very delicious, or we'll add some flavors to it, like mint, we can add lemon juice also. Lemon juice will give a good flavor to, it adds good flavor to the food material. So that is why we use many times citrus fruits. While we are eating, we will cut the pieces of lemon and we will keep with ourselves, and we in between we will add the lemon juice and lemon pieces into that. It gives a good refreshing flavor to us. That is the main advantage with the citrus fruits. Now let us see the important one, carbonic acid. Carbonic acid is nothing but carbon dioxide plus water. When carbon dioxide is pumped into water, it produces H2CO3, which is called as carbonic acid. Generally, all the cold drinks, anything, even you can observe this outside. Some people were selling the cool drinks, we call it as soda generally. So what they will do, they will keep a pump. Inside that pump there will be carbon dioxide gas. So they take the glass and they add lime or salt to it just to add flavor to it. There is nothing wrong in adding that. They add lime or any other thing to add flavor, and they take some water. They fill this glass with the water. Then they will pump the carbon dioxide gas into the water. So when they pump carbon dioxide into the water, what happens? Automatically it leads to the formation of bicarbonate, H2CO3, carbonic acid. So carbonic acid is, it creates some refreshing sensation inside our stomach. That is why we always try to drink the soft drinks like Coke or anything like that. So carbonic acid is formed from carbon dioxide and water. And next thing, sulfuric acid. Generally in every automobile there will be a battery, as shown in figure. There will be a lot of batteries. Inside a battery, actually battery is nothing but a cell, combination of small cells. There will be metal plates hanging around inside, and they will work like positive terminals and negative terminals. These positive terminals and negative terminals are connected to the any substance like engine or any starter material. So this works, the battery works like a source. Inside this we use sulfuric acid as electrolyte. So sulfuric acid is mainly used in batteries, car battery or lorry battery or any automobile battery. Even in bike we use the sulfuric acid. So this is the main advantage of sulfuric acid we observe every day in our life. And this sulfuric acid is also used in preparation of some polymers. When polymer reactions are going on in industry, they add this sulfuric acid as a promoter, or it stimulates the reaction. It will boost the reaction. It makes very fast, and it also used as a removal of protecting layer. Sometimes, for example, aluminium. There is a aluminium rod. When aluminium rod is exposed to oxygen present in the atmosphere, it always forms a oxide layer over the surface of aluminium. Oxide layer is formed. So these kind of oxide layers makes the metals inactive. That does not perform the activities of the metals. Not only the aluminium, many metals like sodium or any other metals. So when oxide layer is formed, they becomes inactive. To make it active, we wash this with the sulfuric acid so that the oxide layer is removed. So by the removal of oxide layer, it becomes active. So again it can be used. So that is the main advantage with the sulfuric acid. Now let us see. Now till now we have seen many acids which are used in daily life. Now let us see, is there any base we are using in our daily life? Yes, you might have known the bases. Let us see, first base, that is sodium hydroxide. This is widely used in soap making, soap solutions. Generally bases creates lather. You know already what is lather. Lather means some air bubbles which are floating inside the water. So that is lather. The lather activity or the soap activity will be created by the bases like sodium hydroxide. That is why we have been using widely in making of soaps or any cleansing agents. We want to clean our house, or we clean our toilets, we clean our hands, we clean our body. So with all these cleaning substances contains widely the sodium hydroxide and its derivatives. Sometimes it may not be direct form, we use in other forms. So all cleansing agents, cleansing products, cleaning products contains the bases like sodium hydroxide. Now let us see the other example of base is sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate. You might be not knowing this name very much, but you know this name which is used in daily life, baking soda. This is nothing but this. You know widely the baking soda which is used in kitchen, in bakery. Bakery items are prepared using baking soda. That's why they named it as bakery. Okay. So all the baking substances are prepared by using the baking soda. The actual formula of this is sodium bicarbonate, NaHCO3. Sodium is Na, sodium, HCO3 is nothing but bicarbonate. So sodium bicarbonate is a base which is widely used in our daily life. So even it is used in fire extinguisher. What is fire extinguisher? Fire extinguisher nothing but fire extinguisher. So fire extinguisher is nothing but to stop the fire we use a gas. So such a substance is called fire extinguisher. So in that also sodium bicarbonate is used, which releases carbon dioxide instantly with the chemical reaction. So let us see some more examples. Magnesium hydroxide is one more base we use widely in our daily life. Magnesium hydroxide, MgOH taken twice. Magnesium hydroxide. You might be not known with these words, but you know about the antacids, or you know about the Digin tablets or Digin syrups, or you know about the milk of magnesia. This is generally known as milk of magnesia, magnesium hydroxide. This is a clinical antacid. You can see in the picture there are Digin syrup, which is nothing but magnesium hydroxide, which neutralizes the gastric acids. We already know that our stomach is completely filled with a gastric acid, that is HCl, hydrochloric acid. When you consume the antacid like magnesium hydroxide, it will neutralize, it will make everything neutral. So our pain in stomach will be relieved by the usage of this one. Now let us see calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide is mainly used in manufacturing of cement, because cement is made up of sand and calcium carbonate and lime, everything is mixed together, and cement is made, widely used in construction. So, above all, the very important example is every day or many a times we use medicine. We are after all human beings, we can have some diseases or some biological problems. So, when we get some problem inside our body, it will be corrected by consuming the medicines or drugs. So, most of the drugs, most of the medicine are acids or bases, because our stomach, inside our stomach, the easily absorption takes place when they are given in the form of acids and bases. That is why stomach or medicines are made up of acids and bases, whatever it may be the medicine, but dosage will be given in the form of acid or base. So, this is all about the variety examples of acids and bases. Now, even though you know acids, many examples of acids and bases, you might be confused which is acid and which is base. To know it clearly, we take the help of some chemical substances which are called as indicators. The substances which shows different colors in different substances are called as indicators. These indicators also works based on the principle of neutralization. So, what is neutralization? We already know that we have acidic substances which are called as acids. When these acids are mixed with the bases or alkali, they can form salt and water. Salt and water. Let us write the word water. So, this reaction is called as neutralization. Let us take one example, HCl, hydrochloric acid, which is present in our stomach, that is digestive juice. If we add sodium hydroxide, that is base. If we add these two, we can able to produce NaCl, that is common salt. Sodium chloride is a common salt. Every day we eat common salt in our food, we add salt to the food, that is sodium chloride, and it produces H2O. H2O nothing but water. So, this process is called as neutralization. Neutralization means making everything neutral. Either it is not acid or base. Okay, bringing everything neutral, that like water and salt. Here, every kind of acid, when it interacted with the base, definitely it produces some kind of salt and water. We have many examples. Let us take some more examples. For example, calcium chloride, when it is reacted with sodium carbonate Na2CO3, it produces calcium carbonate plus what is remaining? NaCl. NaCl. Like this, we can able to produce some salts. Okay. So, this is not the example of neutralization, just as it is a rearrangement of the salt. The best example for neutralization is HCl and NaOH. The strong acid and strong base reacts and produces NaCl and H2O. We have many examples of salts like sodium chloride, sodium carbonate, sodium bicarbonate. These are all the neutral substances which are generally known as salts. Generally, for neutral substances, we call salts. Neutral substances produced in acid base reactions are called salts. Now, let us move forward. We know that we take the help of some chemical substances to identify the acids and bases. Those are called indicators. In general, in everyday life, we use the word indicator. Where do we use it? Generally, a car indicator or a bike indicator. if you on indicator, if you start indicator right side, that means you are going in the direction of right. If you are showing the direction of left indicator, that means you are going left side. Means the substance which is helping us in showing some direction is called indicator. This is the general word we use in many places, but here we use chemical substances as indicators. Here the chemicals which shows different colors in different substances called as chemical indicators. Here we have different kinds of indicators. Generally we can classify them into 4 categories. First category is natural indicators. Natural indicators means just they were brought from the nature. Substances which are brought from the nature are called as natural indicators. Best examples are turmeric. Every household substance is turmeric. Turmeric is a natural indicator. It works, it can able to differentiate the acid and base. Easily we can do that at our home also. And litmus. Generally lichens are the plants which are obtained from the fungi and algae, combination of these two, and lichens releases some chemicals. The substances which are released from the lichens are used, that is called as litmus, that is pasted over a blotting paper or any filter paper, and that filter paper is used, dipped into acid or base, and it shows color change. I can show here litmus paper. I have some pieces of paper here. This is called blue litmus. Just you can observe the color of the litmus paper. This is called blue litmus. This blue litmus also brought from the lichens. So it is used to identify the acids and bases. The second one is olfactory indicators. Olfactory indicators are nothing but the indicators which works based on the smell, like onion. You know already onion has a pungent smell. It has very concentrated smell, pungent smell. So the onions, when we cut these onion pieces into small pieces and fold these onion pieces in a cloth, white or any cloth, keep this inside the refrigerator for overnight and take out all the pieces, then the cloth will absorb all the smell, odor of the onions will be taken by the cloth material. Then the pieces of cloth can be used as olfactory indicator. If you dip the piece of the cloth material in acid, it does not show any change in smell, but if you dip inside the base, it shows some change in smell, odor. So in such a way we can differentiate the acid and base. Even vanilla powder can be used as a best olfactory indicator. So the substances which differentiates acids and bases based on the smell or odor called as olfactory indicators. Third type are synthetic indicators. Synthetic, the word synthetic itself indicates man-made. Synthetic means man-made. So these were prepared in laboratories or industries or factories. So that is why these are called synthetic indicators. Synthetic indicators example: methyl orange or phenolphthalein and so on. Many synthetic indicators are there. They can able to differentiate successfully the acids and bases. The fourth type is universal indicator. Universal indicators. Examples for universal indicators are pH papers. I can show this pH papers. I have the piece of paper, pH paper or pH liquid. pH liquid and pH paper are called as universal indicator. Why we call universal indicators? Because it shows wide range of colors when we dip in different kinds of acids and bases. Even all acids are not similar. The acidity will depends on the amount of sourness present in acid, amount of alkalinity present inside a base. Here I am using the word alkalinity. It is nothing but the basicity or basic nature. When we add any base into the water, such kind of substances, if it dissolves completely, they are called as alkaline substances. So we can use them equally. Base or alkaline substances are nothing but same, but if it is along with the water, we call it as alkaline substances. So universal indicators shows wide range of colors. Instead of showing one color change, it can show wide range of colors. I have piece of papers, pH papers here. Here we have a wide range of colors. Here you can observe different colors. This is a pH paper. It has only a single color, but if you dip in different substances, it shows a color change. And I have the pH liquid. This is a universal indicator, pH liquid. Here you can see, here it is written as a pH indicator, pH test liquid. So this is a universal indicator, it shows different colors. I can show here, I will show some examples. Here I have two kinds of solutions. One is, this is a lemon juice, simple lemon juice. This is lemon juice. Yellow in color, and this is soap water. I have two kinds of substances. Generally already we know that lemon juice is an example of acid and soap water is an example of a base. Now let us see how these acid and base changes with the pH paper as well as with the indicator solution. Let us take, this is a pH paper. Now I will dip this pH paper into the lemon juice. Now you can see here it has been showing the red color. Okay. So the yellowish piece of paper, pH paper is changed into red color in which one? In lemon juice, that is in acid. Now let us take the same kind of paper and dip in the soap solution. Is this shows the same color or different color? What do you guess? Let us see. Yes, here you can see the color is different. So we can differentiate the acid and base by using this pH paper. Now let us see with the indicator solution also. I am taking a little amount of lemon juice. I am adding the universal indicator, that is pH liquid. Yes, you can see the change in color. What kind of color you are observing? The color of the solution is changing into red. Yes. So when the color of the solution is changing into red, it is considered as acid. Okay. Now let us take the soap solution. Let us try to add. Yes, immediately you can observe a different color which is shown in the soap solution. Now you can check here. Acid is showing red color with the universal indicator, whereas base is showing blue color with the universal indicator. This is the main advantage with the acids and indicators, universal indicators. So in this way we can identify acids and bases using indicators, different kinds of indicators. We already know that turmeric is a natural indicator and litmus is also a natural indicator. And litmus papers, we have two kinds of litmus papers, blue litmus and red litmus. Generally it is called as litmus test. Very famous and basic test which is performed to identify acids and bases is litmus test. We have two kinds of litmus papers. As like pH paper, we have two kinds of litmus papers, blue litmus paper and red litmus paper. This blue litmus paper, when it is dipped into acid, it shows a color change from blue to red. Okay. So, we can easily identify when a blue litmus changes into red, then you can call it as acid. Then what will be the situation if I dip this blue litmus into alkali or base? There will not be any color change. It does not shows any color change in color, because blue litmus only works with the acids. It shows color change only with the acids. It changes its color from blue to red. Now, if you consider red litmus, if you dip this red litmus paper into a base or alkali, so what kind of color it changes? What kind of color change you can expect? Yes, it is exactly opposite. Yes, red litmus changes into blue color. So, this is a basic litmus test we can perform. So, here on the slide you can see the images of different kinds of indicators, that is lichen plants, or red litmus paper, blue litmus paper, and red cabbage. Red cabbage is also a natural indicator, and also turmeric is also a natural indicator. Let us move forward. Already we have seen all these olfactory indicators. General examples of olfactory indicators are onion, clove oil, vanilla extract. All these are olfactory indicators, and methyl orange and phenolphthalein are called as synthetic indicators which are prepared in industries. Now, let us move forward. Very important one, that is pH test. Already we have seen the pH indicator and pH liquid. They have shown different colors. Here on the slide, pH test. Actually, the pH, the word has two terms, P and H. Here, P will represent the potens. Potens or power. In German, the P stands for potens or power, whereas H represents hydrogen ions concentration. Hydrogen ion concentration. So, generally pH is identified with the formula minus log H plus ions concentration. We have a pH scale proposed by the scientist Sorensen. He proposed the pH scale starting from 0 to 14. pH scale starts from 0 and it goes up to 14. In between we can find pH 7. If pH is equals to 0, it is called A or acid. Here it is called base. That means if any substance has 0 pH, it is considered as most acidic. From left side to right side, if we are moving from left to right, the pH value increases. pH value increases. pH 0, pH 1, pH 2, pH 7, pH 8, 9 and 14. As pH value increases, acidic character decreases. That means if you compare 2 pH with the pH 4, which is most acidic? Obviously, pH 2 is most acidic than the pH 4. That means acidic character will be more for less pH value. When we reach up to 7, it is called as neutral, like water. There is no acidity or basic character, basicity. So, if we go on further, it is called as basic character. For example, we have pH 8 and pH 13. Which is most basic or basic in nature, base in nature? Yes. Basic character or basic nature, base character is increasing from left to right. That is why the pH, more pH value indicates more basic base character. Okay. You can see in the slide also, we have 0 to 14, acidic, neutral and alkaline. So, in our body we have different systems like gastric acid, human skin, urine, blood, all these are having certain pH values. If pH of blood, you can see here pH of blood is around 7.4. If pH of blood is less than 7.35 with a range of 7.35, it is called as acidosis. That means our body is acidic, our body blood is becoming acidic. If it is more than 7.45, if it exceeds the range, it is called as alkalosis. That means our body is slowly becoming alkaline. Yes, we have importance in our daily life. pH has very much importance in our daily life. Like, let us see, plants and animals are pH sensitive. Generally, if rain pH is less than 5.5, that rain is called as acid rain. You might have heard this. How does acid rain forms? Acid rain forms because of the gases like sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide. When they mix with the water, immediately they form corresponding acids, H2SO4. Here H2CO3, carbonic acid. So, these kind of acidic acids are formed in the atmosphere. From where we get this sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide? From pollution. All the automobiles, factories releases lot of carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide. This will go to atmosphere and mix with the water particles, moisture. So, moisture and the carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide mix with each other and forms corresponding acids like sulfuric acid and carbonic acid. That is why the aquatic life present in the ponds and lakes will die because of the acid character due to acid rains. So, it is very dangerous. Even the acid rain will damage the monuments like Taj Mahal or Birla Mandir. In Hyderabad we have Birla Mandir. So, these are built with the white marble. So, white marble is easily affected by the acid rains. The acids will degrade the marble present in the monuments and some other materials like that. So, acid rains are such a dangerous. Next one, let us take the example of tooth decay. Everybody suffers with this. Why tooth decay occurs? Inside our mouth cavity, there is lot of microorganisms. These microorganisms will break the food material in such a way that it produces some acid. So, these acids will affect the outer layer, which generally called as enamel. Enamel is made up of calcium phosphate. Enamel is made up of calcium phosphate. This calcium phosphate will undergo corrosion due to acids present in the mouth. When acid corrosion occurs, tooth decay happens. The shape of the dents or teeth becomes as shown in the figure. Now, how to overcome this problem? We have the solution. What we have the solution? Every time we eat, we have to brush with the toothpaste. What toothpaste contains? Toothpaste contains the base substances. Okay. These contains sodium and potassium bases. So, toothpaste contains sodium and potassium bases. It will neutralize the acid present in our mouth. So, it becomes neutral. So, in this way tooth decay can be prevented. The third thing, that is antacid. We already know that inside our stomach there is a acid, gastric acid called hydrochloric acid, HCl. Lot of HCl is every day pumped into our stomach. Due to this HCl, we experience the concept called acidity. This acidity can be reduced by using some bases. We have two kinds of bases to suppress this acid present inside our stomach. That is, instant relief is given by sodium bicarbonate, which is generally present in ENO kind of substances. ENO kind of substances, they give us instant relief. They are water soluble, and but the problem with this sodium bicarbonate is it will easily dissolve into the stomach and enter into the blood system. We already know that the sodium bicarbonate is alkaline in nature. So, our blood is also become alkaline with the sodium bicarbonate. Alkalosis may occur. That is why many people, many clinical advices will be given for magnesium hydroxide instead of sodium bicarbonate. Instant relief is not very much encouraged, but even though it is a slow relief, it will not affect our body. So, magnesium hydroxide is insoluble in our stomach. It does not affect the blood, and that is why magnesium hydroxide is called as best antacid. Yeah, we have a small example, honeybee, a sting of honeybee, and we have salts like sodium hydroxide. Let us take one example of salt. We have table salt or common salt. It is widely available in the ocean water. It contains predominantly sodium chloride. There are many salts, but predominantly sodium chloride. You can watch in the slide. There are two pictures. One is rock salt. The red color is for rock salt. It is just like the coal. They will mine the rock salt from the mines, just like coal mining, whereas the common salt, sodium chloride, which we eat, is prepared like with the evaporation process as shown in the figure. Next one, it is also related with our freedom struggle. Salt is very much related. Dandi March led by the Mahatma Gandhi is conducted in the year 1930 August, when the Britishers levied some taxes over the common salt. To protest that, the Mahatma Gandhi has taken the salt movement. And even baking soda contains carbon dioxide, which will bulge the cakes and such kind of substances. Now, it is the time for summer project. Let us take first one. Why do we have acid rains but not base rains? We every time talk about the acid rains, but is there any base rain? Let us check and try to write the answer. Next, explain the type of reaction which takes place in stomach when antacid tablet is consumed. If we consume antacid, it will be what kind of reaction is taking place. Thank you very much.